to the Serenity Solutions podcast number 38. Hard to believe. I've actually missed 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember when I did my last one, but startup of back to school, keeping me busy, working my businesses, and taking care of a working line dog, as well as 2 cats. But I love all of it. I love my job as a school counselor, my side counseling business, as well as my All the Tree People business. And I'm just hopping on here today to talk about Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory book and the chapter 10, How to Make Comparison Your Teacher. And it comes up a lot lately, like usually in the fall, back to school. It definitely comes up with my other business as well, with like comparison. And I mean, everybody gets caught in comparison traps, and it's like, it's kind of hard not to as a human being. But the less that we do that, the healthier we'll be, or the way we deal with it, which Mel talks about in this chapter. I've been reading a little bit over the last couple of nights. Chapter 10. So I'm more than halfway through this book, and I just love it. And I switched back to this book. I have another play therapy book that I'm reading right now, but I needed the help from this book because it does help me to read before bed for sleep purposes, getting off the phone, getting off blue light, and that's one of the habits that I really enforce in the fall and really get strict about, because otherwise my sleep tanks and then the rest of my health tanks because of the stress of the job. It definitely, I need to have those boundaries. And boundaries is something I've talked about before. They're huge in what I do. But like the comparison thing is tough for a lot of people, and that's why I want to focus on it today. And I just want to read one of her quotes. So this is from Mel Robbins' book. And she said, I wrote a long list on purpose. The fact is 95% of the things that you want in life are things that you can create if you're willing to work hard, be consistent and disciplined and patient. Very little about your life is fixed in stone. So basically, she's talking about how, if you want something, you can have it. You just have to do the work to get it. And I think a lot of the time, people kind of look at the tip of the iceberg, and I use that iceberg metaphor because they don't see everything that you did to get to the top of that iceberg, right? And they just see what's happening now. And people can get jealous, and that's part of the comparison trap that we get into. And they don't really know what you went through to get to that point, or they don't remember or don't care, and they just have that, narrow view. Whereas if you look at the big picture, and my dad used to actually tell me to tell others to look at the big picture sometimes, because it is hard for people when they're impulsive and they just want this thing right now, and they don't want to work for it. They just want this thing right now, like right now, snap my fingers, have it right now. And that's just not the way life works. We all have to work hard. Maybe not everybody, but if you don't get something from working hard, then it's not going to feel as, you're not going to be grateful for it. And so it's, working to get that reward, also like enjoying the process while you're doing it. I've talked about that before too. She talks a lot about, if someone's done something better and bigger and cooler than you could ever imagine, let them have their success. Let them beat you to it. Let them do it in the smartest and coolest ways. So this is quoting from her book as well. Their success gives you the formula. Remember my story about not posting on social media? Whatever it is that you want, someone else can give you the formula and let them lead the way. And I have experienced that in network marketing, social selling. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And you learn from others, and more recently, probably the last year or so, I've more so made it my own, which is really nice. Because people want the authentic you, which I've always been authentic, but you learn from others and you try and use their samples or their templates or whatever, but it actually is the most fun and creative and usually more rewarding if you make things yourself and make it your own, and you really get to dive into whatever you're doing. And this isn't just about network marketing, but like life and like whatever you want in life. And she talks in the book about, whether it's going to the gym or starting a new nutrition program or doing your business or, doing something that you're so scared of doing. If someone else has done it before you, why can't you do it, right? Like, why wouldn't you be able to do it? If you work hard, you're consistent, you're patient, that's key. Discipline is also key in all those things, like when you're trying to hit goals, right? A lot of people do fall off, they quit, and, it's not like I haven't wanted to do that before either. I just get back up usually if I feel like quitting, or change or pivot in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And that really helps. But we do need, if to be successful in life, we need to have grit. We need to have consistency. We need to be willing to work hard. We need to be disciplined, and we need to be patient, because things don't happen overnight, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. This is your baby, right? This is your thing. You need to make it your own, and unless you make it your own, you're probably not going to enjoy it that much, and then that's when people tend to fall off. Same with diet. If you're not allowed to have your fun foods, your indulgences, you're likely going to quit your diet. Same with going to the gym. If you don't make it something that is doable, you're likely going to stop going to the gym or working out at home if you don't enjoy it and you force yourself when you really shouldn't be doing it. To be honest, I learned from an amazing naturopath, Dr. Alicia McPherson, about not pushing yourself when you're tired and you can't move, and going to the gym when you're feeling like that, there's not going to do anything good for you. It's better to do yoga or walk or do light stretches, especially with women at certain times of the month, and cycle syncing and all the things. So these things are key for a lot of things in life. And she talks about how if you're not careful, comparison can become the reason why you doubt yourself, why you procrastinate, continue to stay stuck. And you're capable of achieving the same success as that person you're watching on the internet, or that person in your class, or that person in your family that's doing the hard things. And she says there's enough happiness, success, and money to go around for absolutely everyone, including you. It is in limitless supply. So no one's taking anything away from you. Happiness, success, and money are waiting for you to get serious about creating them. So I really like this chapter. It says, I will say this again, no one else's wins are your losses. That's why you have to change the way you look at other people's success. So one of the things that bothers me is when I look around and people are jealous of whoever, or they can't support you because they're jealous for whatever reason. And they can't be happy for each other, because seriously, why can't we just be happy for each other instead of being jealous and oh no, she's doing this thing or he's doing this thing? Why can't we just be nice and kind and be happy for each other that we're all winning in the world, instead of, I better do something because that come on guys, we're adults. We're adults, not children. That is something I help little kids at elementary school with. And I think that frustrates me so much, because I really do enjoy this book, because there has so many practical strategies in it. But when people are acting like little kids, they need to heal. And, I'm not saying I never act like that either, but there's a signal to me, if I act like that I need to do something about it and do some some counseling, do some yoga, do some self-care. And that's huge right now for me as a school counselor, and doing multiple other things, following multiple passions. I definitely need to dig into my self-care, appointments, routines, everything. It all takes time though, right? Like going to an appointment on the way home, I did yesterday, because I was in pain from stress, and it really helps. So I encourage you to go to those appointments, even if it means getting home a little bit later, like a half an hour later or whatever. In my case, it was just a quick half-hour appointment, but it made a huge difference because it was physio, and it was something that helps me with my neck pain, my head pain, all the things. She talks about comparison being your teacher. For every business, there's a formula. So she provides things people could do, like start posting every day, creating videos, explaining your projects, before and after photos, hire an intern that creates a library of short videos for you. So there's a lot of people, admin assistants on the internet offering to do that stuff for you. And I know not everybody can afford that, but once you grow, usually that is well worth it to pay someone to do those things. And the steps you need to take are always simple. The problem is like following through, doing them every day, staying consistent, right? That is something that I'm actually really good at. I'm a very routine, structured person, so that consistency is something that I always get told that I'm so consistent, and it's nice to hear because I do put the work in. And sometimes I just gotta wait a little longer than other people to see the results, but that's what it takes to be successful, is like having those routines, structures, doing it long term. It's the same with working out. It's the same with nutrition. Like, I'm not perfect, that's for sure. But doing things like, I don't go on crash diets and lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever and then go back. Like, I just try and be consistent with that so that I'm at least healthy. So, and then with working out, that's just part of my life with my dog. And then I have been implementing weights over the summer because I have a bit more time for that in the summer. And I'm trying to keep that up throughout the school year this year as much as possible. It's getting down to like twice a week instead of every other day, but that is okay. At least it's happening twice a week, right? Like, I can't be hard on myself. If it's not doable with my stress levels and the amount that I already exercise 90 minutes a day with the dog, climbing mountains and holding him, 76 pounder, it all works out in my body. And I think when you get more stressed out and you're worried about, oh no, I didn't work out today, that's going to make it worse. And that's not going to help your progress. So like taking it easy on yourself, doing some stretches, doing some yoga, maybe one set of your weights is better than pushing yourself, going to that boot camp class, getting sick, and then not doing any workouts for a week, for example, right? So, practice makes perfect. So in everything in life, we need to practice. So, I want to see what I want to talk about. So breathing, my physiotherapist is like, you need to stop and take a breath. You need oxygen. And I was laughing yesterday because I told them I was thinking about it when I was doing yoga, because I do need to stop and take a breath sometimes. I'm going a million miles an hour when I'm at school, and I do things on my break, and then I do some physiotherapy exercises so that I can continue to work the rest of the day. The other day I got a huge headache, a huge trap pain, a little bit of dizziness, and I was like, probably should have went home, but I did the exercises so at lunch on my break so I could continue to work that day. And these are the things that I need to implement into my daily life so that I can do the work and not go on a stress leave or something like that. So again, that's consistency, determination, patience, discipline. And then she talks about letting people show you what's possible and that being an inspiration for you. Like, let them do that fun thing. Let them do that amazing thing. And then be inspired by it and do it yourself, right? When When you see comparison as a teacher, you'll realize other people aren't taking anything from you. They're giving something to you. Other people have this beautiful capacity to show you pieces of your future that you cannot fully see for yourself yet. They show you possibilities that you didn't realize existed or told yourself you're incapable of achieving. So that's amazing. Love this book. So turning these moments of jealousy and frustration into something good. How do we do that? Simple. She says, say, let me. And look at the data of other people's successes provide. Anytime you find yourself playing the game of comparison, there's something really important happening. It shows you the areas of your life that you need more of your attention. Sorry. It means the time for thinking and excuses is over. Let me get to work. Put in the reps. This might have been why I was talking about the working out thing. Putting in the reps at the gym. Putting in the reps with your business. Posting. Doing what you're supposed to do when in your business. Following the methods, the success stories that other people have had, the process, and enjoy the process. This is me, this is my thoughts, enjoy the process, because it's so important. We don't know how long we're here for, and we need to enjoy life as it is right now in the present moment, because anything can happen. So, if you want to change in your life right now, you have maybe exercise goals, you have body goals, you have nutrition goals, you have stress less goals. I definitely would like that. You have nutrition goals, you have skincare goals maybe, you have wellness goals, you have overall health goals. Any of these things is requiring you to make some changes and stop making excuses and stop saying, oh, they have more time than me. I get that sometimes because I don't have human children, and it drives me absolutely nuts because I have 3 fur babies who depend on me at home and need me to be able to go to the washroom. So, it's just stop making excuses. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I know that it's busy. I work with children all day long, and I know how it is. I help families every single day. But there are ways to fit things that you want into your life. Not saying what you want, because I don't know what you want, but there are ways to fit it into your life. Consistently, over time, maybe little by little, which is actually the best way to do things because it's less anxiety provoking, to break things down into smaller steps. That's part of the Fun Friends program I teach at schools. Haven't been doing that for a while, but I always remember that chart because it helps with anxiety to break things down into smaller steps. So for example, if you were learning to swim, first you show up, maybe your son or daughter is learning to swim. First show up at the swimming pool, sit in the area where everybody's swimming, then maybe dip the toes in the water the next time, then just in the shallow end, then, with water wings swimming, then in the deep end with the flutterboard, and then all of a sudden you can swim. So it's these breaking things down into smaller steps and then doing it consistently over time. If you're determined to do that and have that be your goal of, for example, learning to swim, then eventually, if you practice every day, you'll probably be an amazing swimmer. So it's the same kind of analogy in life and in your goals that you're setting for yourselves. So that's it for that part of my podcast. I'm just going to do a numerology poll to see what we need as a collective today, and just to see, I just love seeing what comes up. So I'm using the numerology guidance cards by Michelle Buchanan. Always like to give credit to whatever ideas I'm sharing. So if I'm not giving credit, it's my ideas. If I'm giving credit to Mel Robbins, for example, obviously it's her ideas, but then I'm adding to it, right? So I'm just going to shuffle these cards and ask the universe, what do we need right now? What's going on for us? What do we need to know? What should we be focusing on? And then I'm going to randomly pull a card from, I feel like, closer to the top of the deck today. Not the top, but close to the top. Okay. Whew, I got 74 nature. That is very interesting because I've noticed that this week I've really needed to get back to nature, digging. Like, I never leave nature, but just like getting off screens, getting back and sinking in. I've seen some cool birds today. I'm outside right now in nature, actually. I've seen 2 ravens and a hummingbird in one picture I got today, as well as several other hummingbirds and a big, I don't know what that thing was. Like, it had like raccoon kind of feathers at the end and like maybe a big partridge or something and a pear tree. And they all like this umbrella kind of tree that I have out front, but oh, and then we had a squirrel visitor, which we don't get very often around here. So that was cool, running along the fence. I've watered my flowers today, so doing that, and the indoor and outdoor ones. So really like connecting and just like taking the time to do things rather than rush around all day. Okay, this card is like really bright green with a purple star, and I'm going to read the meaning of it, and then I'll let you go to have a wonderful Saturday. So this card indicates a need to spend quality time in nature. Nature has the ability to heal and replenish you when you're feeling tired, anxious, or depressed. Even a 10-minute walk outside will help revitalize, balance, and ground you. When you merge your energy with Mother Earth, you enhance your connection to the divine. Perhaps you've been spending too much time inside or around computers and electrical devices. Oh my God, this is definitely for me. Maybe you're feeling stressed, indecisive, or confused. By drawing this card, you are being encouraged to improve your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being by walking along a beach or in a garden or park, hiking through the forest, bush, mountains, or desert, swimming in an ocean, river, lake, or stream, taking a trip to the wilderness or countryside, going camping or horseback riding, gardening or having a picnic, lying in the sun, walking in the rain, or playing in the snow, or reading under a tree. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are encouraging you to spend time in the outdoors. When you align yourself with Mother Nature, you align yourself with Source. And this is a very powerful way to raise your vibration. And the affirmation is, I spend time in nature and align myself with Source. I love that I got that card today because this week I've noticed that I really need to, like, I already go out for an hour and a half a day and walk in nature, with my working line dog, who's an amazing athlete, and he needs that every single day. But now I've noticed, because I went away this summer, I noticed that I need it every single day for my mental and physical health too, and just the way I feel. So it's okay. So I've actually been wondering what I was going to do with him today, and I definitely need to like go in the bush or go to the beach. It's a calmer, kind of cloudy day with a bit of sun peeking out, so probably a good day for it. And we just need to dig in and get off screens and just connect. And I'm going to do more of that with my phone boundaries. I am running these businesses, so I need to work from my phone, but I also need to live my life and be healthy. And I am working way too hard right now. So that consistency and the boundaries, like the consistency is always there for me. I'm like very routine and structured, but I need to put those boundaries in when it comes to, you know, messaging, talking on the phone, staying up late, being on the phone before bed, making sure that I am not on the phone before bed, at least a half an hour to an hour, and then in the morning when I get up, not jumping on the phone or checking it in the night when I get up. So I hope that's inspiring for you as well in whatever way you wish. I hope it's helpful in some way or another. I really highly recommend Mel Robbins' Let Them Theory book. It's amazing. It just helps with so many practical things that we need in life. And maybe you can try implementing that and say, let them have their success and inspire me to have more success myself. All right. I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful, calm, serene rest of your day. And I'll see you next time.